You are listening to Show Up Arizona across the great and beautiful state of Arizona. My name is Billy Harfosh. I have a woman in studio, face to face, in the flesh. None of these Zoom calls and all that. I'm so happy to see you. You know, no masks on or anything. We're here to have a human-to-human conversation. This woman is running for governor of Arizona. She wants to be our executive, our CEO, our leader of our state. Her name is Paola Tulliani Zen. Paola, welcome to the show. Welcome to iHeartRadio.
Thank you, Billy.
I've been looking at your story over the last week or two and reading about you, and I saw an excellent video about your past. It's on your website. You came from Italy to Chicago, 7 years old, young girl, didn't speak English. In fact, you struggled in school. You were held back. A lot of people nowadays, successful businesswomen would say, wow, the American dream must be great, very successful. It wasn't easy from the beginning, was it?
No, not at all. I mean, it's difficult coming to this country as an immigrant. I was fortunate that my mother traded her services to clean and cook for the priests for our tuition. When the nuns noticed that my math ability was fourth grade level, I knew how to multiply, divide. I knew how to write in first grade. I just didn't know English. But you know what? First grade, she tutored me. Second grade, Mother Superior tutored me, and she was tough. I excelled. I became an A student in English in every subject because once you understand English, you thrive. You're confident. And that's what I'm big on education right now. I suppose when you have experiences in life, you have an understanding. And you know one thing about the nuns? I used to say, sister, I feel like I'm inside looking out. I feel different. She says, Paula, you're special. And you know, it takes confidence from a teacher to tell you that. And I always remembered it. And I always wanted to win. Once I got the confidence, I had to win at everything. I did it in business. I've always had to be number one.
There's nothing wrong with winning, and there's nothing wrong with being competitive. I think that's one of the pillars, one of the foundations of our democracy, of our country, of capitalism, really. The other thing is, you mentioned when she gave you the motivation or some confidence, I just wanted to say for my audience, that gives you wings.
It gave me wings. It did.
It's a wonderful thing.
It is. And is it about winning? It's really about doing your best and knowing that you're going to finish that race and whatever you do.
Speaking right now to Paola Tulliani Zen, she's running for governor of Arizona. You dealt with loss in your life, early on in your life, and you talk about having to work and help out within your family structure at an early age. There's something weird happening in America right now. I'm 35 years old. I'm starting to see it with people my age and younger. It's weird. It's like when you tell people to work hard, put on your boots, lace them up, get to work, and you can make it. That's a beautiful thing about our country. It's almost like you get this weird pushback. And I haven't seen that before.
It's like you're offending them.
That's what I was looking for. Like you're offending someone and say, how did you get where you are? Well, you just got to put in the hard work and do A, B, C, X, Y, Z. And they're like, nah, I don't want to do that. Why are you saying that? What's happening to our culture?
First of all, it's lack of confidence. And you get that from education. You do. When you start winning in school, and you know, unless we build our children and recognize that they're falling or they're not picking up like other children. You notice this in first or second grade. I said, not eighth grade. I said, what have you done? This school? I said, the children are going to go into drugs. They're going to go into gangs. And you know where we're putting the money? In incarceration. I said, why don't we put the money in our education primary years? Those children need to have the ability to speak English and basic math. You cannot, they're part of our society. Even the underprivileged children that don't have help at home. That's Arizona. We got to do something right now. So one superintendent says, well, there isn't the money. No, we put the money in the first 4 years. Period. And get rid of this CRT, gender identification, whatever the heck. No, not in Arizona. You know what? Someone needs to do what is right for Arizona. We don't need to teach our children or try to have them identify or make a choice in who they are. What the heck is that? Who am I? Am I a boy or a girl at 10 years old? What does that even come up? First of all, anything like that belongs within the family. And we are right now making it so visible and putting it in our schools. Okay? We never had that.
Not only in our schools, in our politics.
Exactly.
That's what you know.
It is politics. It is.
And a lot of people would say, some people would say for better because those people need to be protected and they need rights. Some people would say for worse, sort of like the separation of church and state. Religion, gender issues, that kind of stuff needs to stay at home within the family structure. And politics can deal with budgeting for the state, something like that. What has been this change? And it's like, I want to say over the last couple of years, but really almost the last couple of weeks, every day I open up the paper.
It just blew up, didn't it? And you know what? We got to get a grip on it. not in our schools, number one. The kids don't have to try to figure out at 10 or 11 years old what gender they are, question, and get it the heck out of our sports, period. Not in Arizona. We've got to do what's right. We've got to do what's right for our society because that's the only way we achieve. Get that out of our minds. Let's focus on what we're supposed to focus on. You don't get distracted or go into some... What is it? Why is it blown up so quickly? Is it the politics? Your personal life is your personal life. I have friends that are gay. Love them. They're great. That's not why they're my friends. When they talk about diversity, they're forcing this diversity on us. You don't force diversity. Diversity happens naturally. I'm going to be your friend because we have something in common. Might be politics. It might be that you're my neighbor. We like to walk our dog together, right? My grandson and your son may play basketball together. Something that brings us together. Diversity cannot be forced.
Speaking right now to Paola Tulliani Zen. She's running for governor. The elephant in the room, let's just get to that. The elephant in the radio right now. A lot of people are saying, well, Billy, you interview all these, well-known people and famous people. This woman's running for governor. I'm not sure who she is. I haven't seen a picture of her yet. She's just now getting her name out there. And I know you've been running for a while, but let's be honest. You're running against the Republican side, right? Carrie Lake, she's been on our televisions for 30 years. Karen Taylor Robeson, well, she's in our televisions now, and she's spending a lot of money advertising all over the place. Matt Salmon, well, he was darn near our governor at one point. Point being, these are household names. If I go out, and I told Carrie this, if I go out, we go to a bar, we go to dinner, people are going to come up to you, right? Not you, Paula, not necessarily. How do you overcome the name recognition, number one? And then I want to get into some of your background from a business standpoint. I mean, you've worked in insurance, you've worked in interior design, with draperies, and then obviously the biscotti, the cookie business, which you're most known for now at this point. How do you get over the name recognition? For better or worse, politics, and we saw it with Trump, has become a glorified popularity contest. And I'm not sure that's a good thing.
You know what? This is what I said. I came out. I probably filed the paperwork. Friends of mine pushed me into it. And I thought, well, perhaps I need to serve. At this time in my life, if I'm given the opportunity to serve, there's nothing better. Because that's what the original constitutional men did. They served. They were businessmen. And, I went out and I had many speaking engagements, and I still did. But to get media, why would I be on the media before I had my signatures, which I have over 14,000 now?
You wouldn't. There'd be no reason to.
Why? I'm not a celebrity. People did not see me on television for over 25 years. I have not been in politics. So I did not have name recognition. But you know what? Trump came in late. I'm not late. The race has just begun. You're going to see me on television. You're going to hear me speak. I will speak about the issues, not just the issues. I'm going to speak with the people about the solutions. And that's what they want to hear. And very early on, I looked at all of our issues, and all the candidates are out speaking. This is our issue, the homeless, the this, the that. You know what? I go in front of the people and say, we know what the issues are. But I'm going to tell you my solutions. And, I'm going to run it like a business because government is a business. And that's what we have to do. You have to look at being fiscally responsible. You have to know where that budget, when you're allocating, where it's going to. A lot of people say, we have a business person there. No, there's a difference. There's a difference when you start your business ground up and you have the sweat in it, okay, and overcome challenges, obstacles. And you have to be fearless. I was not just a salesperson. That's what we have there. Someone that was a salesperson mainly. I've learned financials. I know production organizations. I know management. And I know where to put the money. They're talking about possibly another tax increase. What the hell are they talking about? Excuse me. With this inflation, you would even consider that? Why don't we do an audit first, right? You buy a business. You can look at the financials. You buy the business. You buy it according to what you see on the financials. But you know what? When you get in a business, you start looking at every department. You start looking where you could move the money, what department is producing, who is lacking. For example, our education. Let's do a real thorough audit. Let's see how we can move money in the primary years. We don't put it in our prisons, police force, or stopping fentanyl drugs, rehab. We're paying for that as a state. We try to fix the problem instead of preventing it.
You know her name now, and I will say, meeting you, just 12 minutes here, you're a powerful presence. You're a charismatic person. You've got great hair, by the way. And I think that people, whether they agree with you today during this segment or disagree with you, they're going to know who you are, and they're going to know your name. The more voices out there, the better. That's coming from my perspective. So it's just...
That's right.
Check it out. It's PaolaTullianiForGovernor.com. PaolaTulliani for governor.com. You can check me out at Billy Harfosh. You guys already know where to find me. I'll point you in the right direction. This is what you said, the top of your website. Quote, as governor, I will embrace traditional American values. Now, this might sound crazy, but what are traditional American values as we sit here now in 2022? Because I'm not sure.
Well,
and I'm not trying to be sarcastic. Actually.
You know what? Number one, it's family. And we do believe in a higher power, God. And we bring that back to the schools. We pledge allegiance to the flag. There's a lot of things we have lost in the traditional American life way. And that's what we're going to do. It starts with education. And it's also embracing, how do we help families? How do we help businesses? We don't go in and close businesses down. The mandate. He was backed up into a corner 2 months ago. He says no mandates. Well, what the heck do you expect? You don't have health care providers, your firemen, your truck drivers. A lot of businesses have already shut down. When you're pushed in the corner, is that when you make a decision? No, you have to have foresight. You have to be able to plan, and you execute when you know where all the pieces are and what the results are going to be. People are making decisions in our lives. People are making decisions. The feds, they make a decision on the border. Do they look at the domino effect of everything that they do? Shutting down the pipeline. And the big thing that I believe in, when I'm governor, and this is something now they're starting to speak about, but in my very first meetings, wherever I went last summer, I want to unite with other governors. We create a force because that's what's needed today, a united force. And when the governors start pushing back, hey, this is not what we want for our state. And I would say, this is not what I want for my Arizona. And if you can't help us, if you can't do right by Arizona, get out of our way. There's no other option today. We got to get some stupid out.
Get the stupid out, get the smart in. I think people on both sides of the aisle would agree with that.
Yeah, and I may say things that people have been thinking of. We need to really put it out there. Okay? I'm not, sometimes, as you say, I don't have too many filters. I'm Italian. I'm going to tell you what I think, what I believe in. And I'm always willing to listen.
That's an important trait. And I think a lot of people in politics and people are dunking on each other on Twitter, and it's just the to one-up you and to say some sort of an insult that goes viral.
Right.
As a voter, just as a Arizonan, as an American citizen, I'm just done with all of that. It was fun for a while, and I used to like the tweets, but now it's like we have some real issues, not only in our country with our inflation and the border and fentanyl and education, you mentioned a lot of them, and in the world with what's happening with Putin's war in Russia and Ukraine. I got to get you on the record for a couple issues, though, because everybody that's coming through my studio that's running for governor, we talk about a couple things. The first one is, I really dove deep and covered Governor Ducey during the pandemic. I was at every one of his press conferences. I traveled with him. I asked him a lot of questions. We wanted to get him on the record. So even when Mike Pence came down here to the airport, we were asking questions about the vaccine to Mike Pence because I wanted to make sure that our elected officials who are currently in power were held accountable and that there was reasoning behind what they were doing. Okay? So I want to get you on the record because you could be the next governor. God forbid we have another pandemic. God forbid this thing is still going when you're possibly governor. I hope not, but you never know. Give me one thing that you think the governor did well, a good decision during the pandemic, and one thing that was totally off base.
First of all, probably what was good is we all obeyed. The first 4 months, whatever, we're all in panic mode, right? This is something that's sweeping. It's like we're all going to die if you get in contact. And so there's a lot of fear. But when the science comes out and we want to listen to the science, we have a right to make a choice. And to keep people in fear is a disgrace for the federal government and our state. When you look at when our congressmen and senators have invested in Pfizer, that's conflict of interest. We don't even know how deep it goes. You put $10,000 in the beginning, you may have $1 million or 2 or 3 or 10. I don't know. That shouldn't be happening. They should be doing what is good for the people, not saying, oh, let's get another booster shot. Let's get a variant shot. When does it stop?
So just reading between the lines here, do you feel like the governor overstepped his boundaries?
I think he did. I think he should have had also listened to science, research, what is good. You cannot cripple a state. You cannot shut down the businesses. You cannot have people not serviced in the hospital. When we have 18% of mental illness already and it's gone up to 40 because of depression, suicide, that's what COVID has done to us.
Can you understand what a difficult, because I saw it firsthand on a daily basis, what a difficult position he was in. he was going way too far for people on the right, what you're speaking about right now, the mask mandates, the lockdowns, the closing of businesses, the standing in the square, the distancing, the whole thing. Even as press conferences, it was like this whole thing, the mask and everything. What do I touch? It was weird, but it was weird for a lot of people. Went way too far for the right. So now the right's upset at him. Republicans are upset at him.
Well,
and he didn't, let me finish. And he didn't go far enough for the people on the left.
That's right.
Oh my goodness. Now he's opening up the schools. Oh my goodness. Bars and restaurants are opening. So it's like, it's a lose-lose situation.
You can't please completely each side, every side. But you know what? You do have to look where the losses are going to happen when you do this. When you can say that you have another 20% of depression, suicide, businesses shutting down. What's worse? Influenza, when it came out, was it 1917? Then it appeared 1957. We lost 8 million people, okay? They didn't wear masks. Now, they don't force us to get the flu shot, right? It hasn't changed. The flu still exists. We have to be cautious. I go into some events, or not the events that I go to, but I was in a facility. Someone was wearing a mask. And that's when the mandate was off. And someone looked at me and says, it's people like you that kill people like us. Well, first of all, the mask does not give you that much protection. Doesn't. If someone spits on you, it's going to stop the spit. Okay? You want to stop some of the dust that's in Arizona? You can do that.
And by the way, comments like that from that person that said that's what's not helpful. That's not pushing anything in a positive direction.
What it has done is divided our state, our country. Yeah. That's what it has done. Instead of, our leaders speaking to us positively, we're going to overcome this. Enough is enough. Send your child to school. One child has the flu, they all get it, plus the teacher. From the flu, you can be seriously ill. And if you're older, you have issues, you're not going to make it. You'll get pneumonia.
Listen, I'm speaking right now to Paola, Tulliani, Zen. I think we should do this again, like a longer form, because I could get in a lot of things here, and you're a wonderful communicator. Whether my audience is agreeing or not agreeing, you really are a striking communicator. This is Show Up Arizona. My name's Billy Harfosh, iHeartRadio. We got about 10 minutes left. The other issue, I have to get you on the record because, like I said, everyone that's coming through, we got to talk about the election, okay? Do you feel under current Arizona election norms and laws, what we're currently dealing with, that it will be a free and fair and above board and sound election in 2022?
Believe that there's been a lot more planning and protecting how the election is going to be conducted. I spoke with someone in Tucson. They already have over 1,000 volunteers that are going to be at the polls, which they did not have before. I believe there should be Republican supervisors, Democrat, and if they're going to use the machines, get special IT people that understand it, and it's going to be a conservative and a Democrat. We need to prepare, and that's how it's going to be protected. We need to protect it as much as we can, because the last election was handled so badly. Was there fraud? Was there mismanagement? I believe there was. It's unfortunate we don't have Trump. One thing we felt when we had Trump, we felt protected, didn't we? Do we feel protected now? Look what has happened. But we want to know that our vote counts. And when people say, the election, I've heard from people, why should I vote? It doesn't mean anything. They're going to put in whoever they want. No, we want to be sure that every vote counts.
Are you disappointed that Donald Trump and Donald Trump's organization has endorsed Kari Lake? Do you think that was premature? Do you think he should have waited to see kind of what the landscape out here in Arizona was before he put his name, an important endorsement, behind a candidate?
This is how Trump is. He pulls the trigger soon, but he falls in love real quick. Okay? He didn't meet me. We have not had a conversation. He chose someone who is going to beat up the media.
Are you going to go after Kari Lake? She's a front runner.
I don't need to go after her. I think when I'm in events, people come to me. They say, you know what? We were with that other candidate. But you know what? I'm going to follow you, and we're going to vote for you.
Would you say your policies on things like the border and education and a couple other things we're going to get into here align with Kari Lake? Or do you see any any major policy differences?
No.
Because I have to tell you, I interviewed Kari Lake and then I interviewed Karen Taylor Robeson, and I have to tell you, very different women, different backgrounds, different demeanors, but policy-wise, it's like, you tweet differently, different personalities, but kind of similar.
Okay, let me tell you, all right?
Hit me.
Their policy on the border is my policy.
So you're saying, even though you didn't have the name recognition, that some of these other candidates have can I use the word stolen or copied your policy on the border? It's finishing the wall, stopping the fentanyl, maybe surging the National Guard to the border.
Exactly.
Right? We know the 5 points.
Exactly.
But
Put the guards or the people, the authorities, whether they're judges right on the border, turn them around real quick. Okay, that's going to stop the caravans.
Well, that's a pretty major allegation.
Why bring them to Tucson and then to Florence, and then they get a piece of paper that says you've got to show up to court in anywhere from 1 to 9 years? That's what Wilmot.
I understand, but you're saying that was your plan originally.
Yes.
Okay.
Always.
All right.
And always. The other thing, they all go there for a photo op and says, we're going to finish this wall. What's it going to take you? 2 years, 3 years? Well, can you accelerate it? 2 months? How are we going to do it? I say finish the wall. But you know what? We get technology in. Do you know we can get technology in months? What the heck are we thinking of? It's available. You've got a smartphone. You've got an iPhone. Look at the technology available to us today. You mean to tell me we can't get it in? There are companies that are ready to go. I don't know everything, but you know what? I'm real curious. I've always been. I went to talk to Donnell, and I had a day with him. Went to the border, but I said, I want direct answers to this. What's stopping the sheriffs from protecting this state? He says, we need a consensus from the Attorney General and the governor. So where in the heck have they been? In our Constitution, it says, and Scalia has noted this, when the federal government fails to protect the people of any state, the state is given the right to take their state. The state should be taken back. And I am a governor that I'll know how to do it, because you know what? They can take, I always say, you can take ideas, you can take something, you repeat something like it's yours, but you know what? You can never do it like the creator. You can never do it with the person that thought it through and would know how to execute it.
It's not the same.
It's not the same.
That's true in my business too.
You can steal a recipe, you can steal someone what you're saying.
Yep.
It's not you.
I tell you, a powerful woman in studio right now, Paola Tulliani Zen. She is running for governor of the state of Arizona. I think this is not the last time we're going to be hearing from her. You talk about talking the politics out of government. Tell me why that's not just a great, kind of cool, sexy talking point.
No,
Can you really do that? We've been talking about this since forever. Get the politics out of government. Can it happen?
You know what? First of all, I don't hire friends and family, because politics will always hire people that you know. Doing favors, there are no favors. The only favors we do are for the people of Arizona. Think about it. I'm a businesswoman. It wasn't just about money. It was about always doing the right thing for your employees, for the people you serve. I serve them as well. And my mind is built that way. And we need more people that think that way. What is good for the people of Arizona? That's taking the politics out. You make a decision what's good for the state, not because you have a friend or you owe a favor. I owe nothing to anyone. I will not owe. I'm running my own campaign. I don't need a salary. You know, I'm putting a lot of money now. The race is on. You'll see me on television. You want to call me? Call me. I'll always be able to communicate with people. In
Please
fact,
don't give out your phone number right now. Trust me.
No. Okay, you're right. You know what? When I'm governor, though, there's a line that you can call. How about that? Did you ever try to call when they tell you, and these congressmen go out and are speaking to you? Get to your congressman, get to your senator, call him. This bill cannot be approved. You tell him you don't want it. Blah, 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 blah. Okay, you call voicemail. Do you ever get a call back? No, you don't.
It's all baloney.
It's all bull. You want to hear the people's voice. You know, I listen to my employees. I may have said we're going to do this. We ran not just the biscotti. We had a lot of products. We ran for Godiva, chocolate, whatever. Okay, I had to learn everything. And you know what? I didn't know any of this. I always learned whatever I had to learn.
Yeah.
I could tell you a story about the bakery, but I don't think we have time.
Well, maybe next time. But you know what I took away from this conversation the most is your curiosity. Even if people don't agree maybe with some of the things on education or some of the things with the transgender or some of the things on the border, you're a curious woman, and I could see that in your eyes. And I think we need more curious people in leadership roles.
And you know what? We have to stop dividing our people. I don't care if you're Democrat, Independent, Republican. You know what? We can sit down and have a debate, a conversation, but we're still going to be friends. That's how I am. I have Democratic friends. I have liberal friends. You know what? I converted a Democrat, voted, he put his name on the ballot. And I thought that was concrete. No, in fact, 2 or 3 and some teachers. We all want the same thing. We all want what's good for our family, our businesses, our way of life.
You think you can get along with the other side if elected governor?
I do.
You think you could actually finally talk about getting politics out of it, but more importantly, work with the other side to get things done?
Yes, that's the only way. And the first thing I'm going to do is meet with the legislators. I'm going to meet with the sheriffs first. Immediate. What can we do? What is legally possible? And there's a lot. And we're going to do it.
And by the way, you just sound like you don't have any kind of a hidden agenda here. I mean, you're coming at me, you're a successful businesswoman, coming at me like someone that just loves this state, and you feel like your time is now. By the way, a lot of people say, well, he or she's just running for governor because they want to be president. You can't be, can you?
No, someone says, when you win, will you go to second term? I said, if I'm alive. Okay. You know what? But I plan to live another 30, 40 years.
You can't run for president, though.
No, I cannot. I wasn't.
Paola Tulliani Zen, she is running for governor. Very refreshing to hear someone that just kind of shoots from the hip. We didn't get into the Second Amendment, but there's a little reference. And there's not like you didn't come with all these talking points and, oh my God, you get nervous when he brings up this or that. You're just speaking your mind here. And we don't get a lot of that in this studio. I'll be honest with you. People are so buttoned up. People are so just bound up tight. They're afraid to make a mistake on the air. We just had a nice conversation.
Yeah, you know what? Like I said, I'm Italian. I don't filter too much. I'm going to tell you what's on my heart and my mind. And you know what? Like I feel we got to stop. The question to finalize that, the gridlock. You know what? I'm going to go down. I said to the legislators, you invite me? No, you're not going to invite me. I'm going to come down there. And you know what? We're going to have some great lunches at the Capitol because I'm going to bring the people that work there together. And that's what it's about. If they communicate, they align in many things, we're going to get things done. But when they're fighting all the time, this state will not stop. You know, this is the great state of Arizona. And when they walk into that Capitol, they're going to feel an energy. And that's what they felt when they came to my business. You know, I grew from baking on my own in a facility that let me bake. And I started with Price Club. Then I lost them. They merged with Costco. The product did really, really well. So they said, I've got good news and bad news. But you know, I didn't stop. I said, one day I'm going to get Costco back. They took it away from me. Nani's got it, but I'm going to get it. So I worked hard. I got Barnes & Noble. I did anything I could. I learned to make ganache cakes, chocolate cakes for Godiva. I overcame any obstacle that was in front of me. And you know what? Sometimes you say, oh, this is too hard. I can't do it. I never said that. I said, I got to figure it out. And that's what you have to do. You can learn everything if you make up your mind. And I remember then at the bakery, there was Italian Vincenzo. Love Vincenzo. He was a great Italian baker. And you know, we used to cut the biscotti by hand with a knife. Okay. We only had AJ's. We had the three warehouses, but it was a lot of cutting. All right.
I can imagine.
Of course, now there's equipment, big equipment. One day, Vincenzo, the butter would be delivered and natural vanilla. And he says, Paola, ma perché? Why you bring the butter? People don't care. We use the margarine. You save so much. I said, Vincenzo, I said, you know what? People want to take the second bite, and they only will do that if the products are good. That's food, I said. Food is important to people, right? And we Italians know that. And he should have known that. So anyway, comes into my bakery, my large facility, the last one, 60,000 square feet, very automated. We're baking 55,000 pounds a day. And he stands there in the middle of the plant and he says, Paola, how did you get here? And I said, Vincenzo, butter.
That's a beautiful story.
You do the quality,
yeah,
you get good results. And that's what we always have to think in anything we do. I believe that. If we teach our children that, you do your best and you're going to get the best results possible. All you can do is your best. And if you fail, just get up again. Failure is a learning process for kids or even adults.
And they don't always need a trophy, do they?
No, they shouldn't have.
Sorry.
No,
I could go on and on with you, Paula.
No.
I'm getting that feel, that old school American values. I think there's something to it. I think it's real. We can't always taste it. We can't always touch it, but it's out there. And I think this country needs a little bit more of that.
You know, let's get real. You know, when I was in my first speaking engagements, the first time I said, common sense, where in the hell did it go? Now everybody's using it. Okay, it's like, certain words, transparency. I don't even want to use that anymore. You get tired of these words now. I can't even use common sense, but you know what? I got it. And as my mama would say, you either got it or you know got it. And Paola, you got it.
You do got it. You got that charisma too. We're going to end it right there. Paola Tulliani Zen, she's running for governor, for CEO, for executive of our great and beautiful state. You're listening to Show Up Arizona on iHeartRadio from Tucson to Phoenix and everywhere in between. Thank you so much. You can check out Paola Tulliani Zen on my Instagram and my Facebook. We're going to go take a nice photo of her and we'll tag her and throw out the website, the whole thing. Very, very intriguing conversation there. Whether you agree with her, you don't agree with her, you have to admit she is a woman that states her opinion and she does not hold back. Let me know what you thought. Show Up Arizona with Billy Harfosh on Facebook, at Billy Harfosh on Instagram. I'll also be doing for the AZ Wine Wagon. Some of my favorite people over there. We go up to the Verde Valley. We go on a luxury limo bus. We drink wine. We eat good food and we have a sober, safe ride home. Be on the lookout for a giveaway on my Instagram. It's at Billy Harfosh. Always, always remember, now more than ever, this is it, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. You've got one life to live, and you're doing it right now in this moment as we speak. Make sure this week is a memorable one.